How's it going, everyone? Happy Friday to you. Hopefully, you're doing well. Is everyone ready for the weekend? Oh boy. All right. I had a pretty good week. I can't complain. It rained overnight. There was even a little bit of lightning and thunder. Da-na-na-na. Anyway, so what's going on today? Uh Today gonna continue our coding adventure, and we're gonna try completing. We're gonna not try. We are going to complete the integration with Notion for OAuth. I figured out what the problem was, and naturally, the problem was something extremely trivial and easy. You know, and it's basically a one-line fix, as is most things in software development when you're dealing with bugs and unknown issues. Usually it's just one line screw up. Oh boy. Googled for a Stack Overflow answer. In this situation, no. Stack Overflow ain't helping, wasn't going to help for that. Stack Overflow wasn't going to help with that. Get some tunes in the background. Let's switch over to our scenes. Let's go ahead and we can just hide this for now. But how you doing, Trash? So I'll tell you now, it was legitimately a one-line fix. And let me. So actually, I'm gonna hide my screen, and I'm gonna make the change that was causing the issue. Or I'm gonna put back the code that was causing the issue. And then I'm going to then, and then we're going to try removing that code so you can exactly see what was wrong. Yeah, Josh, how was your week? Anything good happen? Learn anything interesting? Any type of that good stuff? All right, so I made the change. I'm going to test this out off screen so we can witness it happen. So I can double check that it's going to occur. Sweet. I was able to replicate it. Alrighty. So here's the issue. Just to how we were trying. So last stream, we sarcastically implemented the whole OAuth Notion flow. We got to this point. Select pages. When we click allow, we got failed to authenticate. And that was because it was doing an extra check for the state. The state wasn't there, so it invalidated it. And we were just pulling at everything, trying to pull all the curtains back, pull up the floorboards, look under the hood, figure out what the heck is going on. We learned a lot about how OAuth libraries work. We learned how to debug stuff. We learned a lot of stuff about doing debugging on third-party packages. But never were never able to find a solution to the error. And over the weekend, it was really bugging me. And I was going to make another flow, OAuth flow, for Patreon so I can try to replicate the issue. And I figured out what it was. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are being rated, folks. C# Fritz coming in with a party of 39. Check that out, folks. Thank you very much, C# Fritz, for that raid. How's it going, folks? Thanks for stopping on by. Anyway, so we're getting an authentication issue, and for the life of me, I did not know what was wrong. But I figured out over the weekend when I was working on another project. They released remasters of the first 3. Interesting. I still remember Crisis. I played Crisis 2 and 3. I never played 1. Yeah. So I figured out what the issue was. And we spent a lot of time trying to figure out what it was. We tried to rewrite all our code, but the issue was this. This one line right here shouldn't have been here because this plug right here is already here. So it was running this plug action, this plug piping twice. So if I remove that line, everything will start working. So, all right, I'm going to show this real quick before I go on another tangent. So we're going to try to initiate this OAuth flow. And we're going to click allow access, and boom, authentication happened. It didn't error out. We got it working. Look, we even have this payload right here. So we were able to successfully handle the authentication. We were able to do it. We didn't hit this. We hit this function. Alrighty, so that finishes that in terms of the Notion OAuth integration. So I just wanted to show that off. One more thing I guess we can look at is when doing the Notion integrations. Yeah. Let's see. We can try to add just a little bit more to the configuration. Now that we've fixed the problem, we can actually enhance code. So in our OAuth Notion, after we fetch the authentication, the token, we're kind of leaving the info blank. So I'm wondering what we can do to try to enhance this information. What can we get about the user? Because usually like the best practice when dealing with an OAuth, when doing OAuth library, is there's the 2 phases to the OAuth flow. There is the request phase and the callback phase. There's 2 phases, but they're kind of loaded. The request phase is the first part where you get taken to the screen where you have to confirm that you want the app to do the things it's asking to do on your behalf. You click yes, and then it triggers the callback phase where the service, like Notion, sends back information with the code, the password, to then fetch the actual token. So I get a code. So Notion sends a code back to the service, my service, and then my service will then do a backend request to go fetch that token with the access token, the refresh token, and any other information like expiration and stuff like that. We save that. But usually the other part of that flow that is a best practice is to also do an additional request now that you have the access token to fetch information about the user that's been connected. I'm not doing that yet. So maybe we can try to add that part, try to get information, request information about the user themselves that has connected. So we can add that as part of the info right here. So let's see. Retrieve your tokens bot user. Let's see. Retrieve the bot user associated with the API token providing the authorization header. The bot will have an owner field with the information about the person who authorized the integration. This endpoint is accessible by integrations with any level of capability. The user object returned will adhere to limitations, integration capabilities. Okay. What? Okay, so they changed the documentation, so I'm a little thrown off. So I'm trying to like figure this out. Okay, so there we go. We see an example. We have to explicitly click it to see the example. So we bought, and then we have the owner, and then the owner's information. So we do have some info about the user. So if I do a request to v1 users me giving the Notion API key, I should be able to fetch this information about the user. So let's try to enhance our workflow to do that. So here's the code for handling the callback. This part is where we actually fetch the token as part of the request or the callback phase. After we successfully fetch that token, we just put the token into the connection metadata to have access for the response. But because I've written already a couple OAuth packages here, we'd want to implement fetching a user. Sorry, that was my Slack. If anyone got triggered by that. Okay. So we would want to fetch the user with the given access token. So let's go ahead and implement that fetch user function. Okay, so there is some boilerplate I can actually use from work I have done in my other libraries. And I'll say it again, I love the new web editor feature for GitHub. Highly recommend. just go into any repo, press period, and immediately start browsing the code. Amazing. Amazing. All right. So this is boilerplate code we can just grab. And we want the code to actually go and get the token. So I don't think, oh, we do have the get token code. Sweet. The get code. Oh no, we have get token. We do not have the get code. Notion does not need a client ID. So we don't have to worry about defaulting our header to any sort of so we'll default it to that. Let's see. Access token. So we do that. That's good. Okay, let's update this. So we get the access token and access token. And we're going to make a request to https:/me /me, and then what do we have? And then this is very angry because it's like connection doesn't exist. Expanding. Did we pass the connection through this example? Over here, we did. Okay. We want the connection struct because we want to be able to put the information from the response in there right here. I'm going to try to move this up the totem pole of this is Twitch strategy Notion. And we're going to place, so we do the request, and then we're matching based off the payload because Elixir's cool like that. So if you get a status code with between 200 and 399 with the body, we will stick that information into our connection. And we'll call this the Notion user. So we'll be getting this object back. That's done there. Alrighty. So that is going to add, so the fetch user is going to add the response data to the connection object or connection struct, not object. We will want access to that information. And down here, when it's processing that information, it's going to call, when it's trying to construct the struct containing all the information after the callback phase is completed, we want to populate this info struct. All right. Let's see if I can command click on this. I can't. I don't remember exactly what's in the info struct. Unfortunately. Let's try to look this up for Uber auth percent info. Oh, wow. That was weird. Here we go. Here's the typing for it. I'm just going to plop this in so you can see it. Let's move this to the right. Let's close that so we can have more space. Move this over to the left and see what we're dealing with here. So here's our owner. So we have the Notion user, and we want to grab bot owner user. So we're going to kind of do a pattern match. Let's see. So we're filtering. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the information the struct can hold and looking at this here. Let's see here. So looks like the URL object is going to stay blank. So let's nuke these. And what we're going to do here. So we're going to do, so this is kind of like destructuring with JavaScript. We're going to be doing a pattern match on the data. So we want bot, and then bot, inside of bot, we want the owner, and then inside of the owner, want to pattern match on the user. And that will be our user that we will be using. So is there too many of these? And then from there, we can do user, email, user, avatar, URL, user name, and oh wait, this is user. Oh, because the email is nested in here. So we don't have, not phone, we have image. I guess we can also, oh, the UID. Am I grabbing the UID? I'm not grabbing the UID. We're going to have to do that too. We're going to have to set the UID for the user. So we'll have to destructure. We'll actually have to end up destructuring this or pattern matching even further on this user object because I want the ID. Well, actually, I don't need the ID here. What I need is the name. I need the avatar URL. And we'll need person. And then in person, there's going to be an email. Trying to see if this can auto format for me, but it's not, sadly. Unexpected. I guess there's an extra thingamabobber. There we go. So name, avatar, email. So now we can just, since we're directly pattern matching on those values, email like that. So that gives us the info. For OAuth, there is also, for the strategy, there is also the UID that we need to implement. So def UID and that connection do. And then the UID is our UID is going to be, we don't have to worry about this. That. So we're pattern matching on, yeah, so user, this is wrong, that, and return back the ID. I wonder if we can just do, I'll have to look at this to see if we can do this better. Because doing these type, like grabbing like this just for one value is meh. Let me see what, if there's other methods. Here we go. GetIn. That's what I think I want to use. So I can actually use this. This is going to be a lot cleaner, actually. GetIn. So this is a method or function on the kernel itself, and we give it the thing. So connection, and we're using GitHub Copilot. So GitHub Copilot took this and kind of did it for us, which is awesome. So we go inside the bot, gonna grab the bot key, grab the owner key, inside that grab the user key, inside that grab the ID key, and then that will return back the UID for said user. This one's a little bit more complex since we're matching against multiple things. So I will avoid doing that there, but hopefully this works because that'd be really nice. That'd be very, very nice. Let's see. Oh, we do need to set the Notion version header. I forget. Do we have to set the Notion version header? Conventions. Notion API's version, all our API versions are named in date, version release. Example, if you set the version right click in the header. Types name. Required header. We strongly encourage you to include Notion version header for all requests. The best ensures the Notion API consists of what your code expects. Or we will be requiring the API calls to include Notion version header starting June 1st. So we need it. No shortcutting it. So it looks like we're going to be forcing the header into our call then, because that's what we got to do. So our header is Notion version. So I think I can just do a tuple for this. And our version is 2220222. Seems like a joke that they did a release on the Tuesday. Oh, it needs to be it needs to be a pair. There we go. That's what we need. Ooh, hydrate. I just took another hit. Trinity 3, thank you very much for redeeming the hydrate stretch. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Going for a walk later? Nice. Have a good walk. Enjoy the fresh air. And I hope you see a doggo or a cat on your walk. Because if you do, I call that a blessed walk. Oh. More notifications popping through. I can hear it at least. Alrighty. So we set the Notion header and we will be setting the access token also. Let's see. So if we go to here. Let's see if this works with this code as is. I'm kind of curious to see because it might not. But let's find out. Auth Notion. We select and we error. No match for the right-hand side for the object. So Notion user already contains, let's see, so avatar URL, and then we have the bot and the owner. So type is user, and then we go inside user. Okay, so let's see. So line 95. So right here. So we have bot. We have owner. And then we have user. We have ID. And that's it. We don't have any more information about the user. What? Is that because, let's double check our OAuth. Prompt the user to add integration. Okay. Mm-hmm. A user token will be returned. So this flow automatically returns back a user token, I guess. But I would love some more information. Let's see. What I will do is also I'm curious to see, I'm curious to see what the token gives us back versus what the other identity request gives back. Okay. So here we are. All sorts of gobbledygook. So we get back all this beautiful information. The owner, ID, object, user. That's all we get back. All we do is get back the ID. Okay. So doing the call to just the identity, I don't think is going to be sufficient. I want to grab more information about the user because we can, in theory, create a user based off that information. So we would want to do a request to get the user based off their ID. So I can grab, it seems like I can grab the user, the UID, the base UID based off of the Notion token. It would just be inside the owner field based off my understanding. And this return back a user object. So let me tweak this ahead of time. We can get rid of these two nestings here. Let's go ahead and format that. And then down here, when we are going to fetch the user, what I need to do here is make a call to v1 users, and then instead of me, let's see if we can just make a call to the UID call. So users slash, and then we give it the UID. Let's see how successful that will be and what we will get back. Notion token is not found. Are we doing this fetch too soon? So fetch user is happening here. And fetch user is called right here. Okay. All right, so I have to pass in the token because this isn't set yet. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, I see. Because put user, because this is functional, is going to return back a new connection. I want to operate on that new connection. The connection, and then that, I believe, should be everything we need. OAuth fetch is undefined. Line 116. What? So we're still giving it the access token. So we're doing put, and put returns back the connection that's been mutated, a new connection, which we pass to fetch user down here. Connection fetch user. And then we try to perform access token fetch. Fetch 2 is undefined. Okay, so it's failing right there. Awesome. So this code right here is not doing the thing I thought it would. So we're going to tweak a couple things then. So we're not going to do the UID connection thing there yet. We're not going to do the private thing there yet. So instead of separating everything out, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass the entire token payload over into fetch user, then put that into there. And then what I want to do is do the exact same logic here, down here. So get in, and we're going to be getting into the, we're going to be getting in the token, the owner user ID. And this is no longer access token. That is just straight up the token. Same thing with this thing here. Token access token is what I want. Let us see now if that will be, if that's a secret sauce. So OAuth, okay. So it doesn't implement this access behavior. So I can't do this GetIn for this. That's what's going on. Was it? Now I fully understand what's happening. Now I'm getting it. I want to try to convert a struct map from struct. So if I can convert this to a struct from a struct, from a map, or from a struct to a map, this will make everything so much easier. Then now it's all starting to sink in. So let's use map from struct, passing in the connection private notion token. And then that gets passed in to GetIn like that. And I believe owner, user ID. So then let's try to call it from here. UID for the connection. Yes, just like that. Grab the ID and let us see. ID. Okay. Click that, click that. Notion token not found in connection. Ah, yes. Yes. Of course you're not going to find it. Because I haven't updated the connection yet. Of course. Boop. Boop. Ah, yes. New error means a new progress. This is typical happens in the kernel byte size if the individual argument is performing the binary construction and one argument is not a binary. Alrighty, so it wasn't able to do the GetIn because let's see, so we do access token owner. I wonder if it's because the accessors for this should be like owner user like ID like that. I see these as strings though. So binding. Let's put a little debugger in there. Anyway. We just gotta get the parsing just right. Sometimes it's difficult to tell if we're dealing with what type of shape of the data we're dealing with. If it's just a straight up struct, is it JSON? Is it just a map of JSON? So, yes. So if I do this, what does that give me? Okay, so it is under other params. That's what's going on here. So it is GetIn. So these strings are fine, but other params is the missing key we have. And then that is an atom. And then we have owner, user, and ID. There we go. Okay. Insufficient permissions. Darn it. Darn, we can't get the user information. Public auth integrator to build a product user broad. Want to read the documentation for excuse me. Store all information integration receives with the access token. You never know when your UI requirements products. So the bot ID returned along with your token should act as a primary key when storing the information. Relations between this information, the resources of the notion, if they're accessing, for example, if the store a notion database, if you store a notion database or page ID, relate those records with the correct access token that you can use to authorize requests when reading and writing. Interesting. Alrighty, so we successfully did try to fetch additional information about the user, but we didn't really get anything back. And it looks like we should just use the bot ID instead of the other stuff. All right. I guess that's it. Can't really fetch the user information because we don't have access to the user. Period. So we walk back the code that we made. I guess we can keep it in here. You never know when a notion will change. We'll keep it in there. So I will move this assignment, this update to inputting the notion token here. We don't need to use this assignment. We'll just return. Info is dead to us. And the UID is just going to be bot ID. unused. I guess if we need it, we can always go back in the commit history if need be. Select, and done. That's all we can do. Just get the bot ID. Done. So in our session controller, where we're housing the logic, let's go ahead and just inspect the auth struct we get back just to see what's going on. Click, click, boom. Yep, there's the UID, provider notion, strategy, and then just a whole lot of nothing after that. We have the raw info, I guess, just in case if we want it. But that's about it for that. Oh wait, I do want to have this open so I can delete that. Let's see what we did that. We updated the UID. We did this. We don't really care about that. To get the UID. To set the bot ID as the UID. Go ahead and sync that. And for now, I think that ends the work on this project for today in terms of this project specifically. I want to spend the last part of the next half hour kind of researching and thinking about I want to create a Pomodoro accidentally, yeah. I want to create a Pomodoro bot to do timers and all that type of stuff. So that we take some time to plan out that project. Because I want to make a Pomodoro Twitch bot for future Pomodoro streams that I want to do. So I want to create a project board so we can start brainstorming this idea. So let's see. Pomodoro Twitch bot. That's the idea. Sorry, just kind of curious, just clicking around. Okay. Because it's the new beta feature, so I was kind of curious. Okay. So what's this Pomodoro? So first we're gonna. I was originally thinking about incorporating the Pomobot into the current bot code, but I think I want to scaffold the Elixir want to do this just in Elixir. So scaffold Elixir, a Phoenix Elixir Phoenix application app, and we're gonna keep this project as light as possible. So I was thinking of just using SQLite for this. Actually, hold on. Trying to think here. No, well, I have big ideas for this. So scaffold Elixir Phoenix application. What we're going to want to do with this application is add in Twitch IRC integration. We want to, and what this application's designed to do is to just start and stop Pomo sessions. So as a streamer, want to be able to start so the user story to this is, as a streamer, I want to be able to start a Pomo for X minutes. So as a user, want to be able to start Pomo for X minutes. This so session when session has started, well, if so using a Twitch command can start a Pomo for X minutes. When Pomo is done, it will send a message in the chat. The Pomo is completed. So that's one. So as a streamer, I want to be able to start Pomo. Cool. Let's add another one. As a streamer, when a Pomo is active, shh, people. So let's get into that. What do I mean? So when a Pomo is currently ongoing, if someone talks, bot will kindly remind them a Pomo is active and to stay and keep talking to a minimum. Talking to a minimum. Let's have it on a timer so it doesn't repeat itself to the same user all the time during the session. Maybe say how much longer the POMO is going to last. So maybe not, but that's all we're saying. Maybe. Currently ongoing. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's see. What else would we want to do here? As a POMO user, I can join a POMO to track I can join a POMO for recognition. So allow a user to use a command to join a POMO when joining POMO, track the user has joined in. And then figure out what sorts of stats to track. Another one would be as a streamer, so as a streamer, I would like to have an overlay to display POMO information. There we go. I was trying to see how I can add that in. So have an overlay, have a web page that so create a web page that displays POMO stats. I can create a web page that displays. I can add as a source to my streaming software, display a countdown. of how much time is left in the POMO. Let's see. When it's break time, when it's break time, and how long. How much longer it is. Maybe display other information about who has joined the POMO. One thing I just realized here, we're typing this out, is as a streamer, I would like to set how long a break time will be. So a command to set the break time length so that when a POMO ends, it starts counting down break time. Tap switch to integration as a streamer. Easier when a POMO is done, I'll send a message to chat. I'm just realizing as we're talking about this, why not just the streamer I would like to set my POMO time. So I would like to set how long a POMO will be. So I would like to say how long a POMO will be so that it will will be to make starting a POMO easier. So I think starting the POMO using Twitch command, I can start a POMO. For a POMO using the set time. Allow for specifying a time for the POMO as an override. It's for the POMO as an override, and when the POMO is done, send a message in the chat that the POMO is completed. Start break time. So Twitch integration. As a streamer, I like to like to set my POMO time. As a streamer, I would like to set how long a break time will be. As a streamer, I want to be able to start a POMO. As a streamer, as a streamer, when a POMO is active, people, as a user, want to join a POMO for the recognition. As a streamer, I like to have an overlay to display POMO information. What other things? Ooh, pause a POMO. So as a streamer, I would like the ability to pause a POMO. I would say pause, and we'll expand on that. When pausing, it will stop the timer if we are in the middle of a POMO or in the middle of a POMO or break time. Let's move this down. Ever clicked on that before? Alrighty, so let's move these over to the to-do column. Great. So this will be the new mini project that's going to be happening to build out a little POMO timer. Oh, show. And we'll be doing this in Elixir. And we'll probably be using live view for this, so that's going to be fun. Hey, Pokemon Ben. Mistakes I did. But he told me not to worry about that. I got a 34. He said I should be fine, that I can pass the class easily, assuming I keep up the work and effort. So I guess I don't have to worry much, as long as I do what he says. I think you don't have to worry too much as long as you study and do the work is more like it. So not so much as you do as he does what he says is more as you should continue to study and do the work. Alrighty, so I have all this, and we're kind of set up for success in terms of starting this next small project. So we're just gonna take a little pause on the Notion helpers and quickly try to work on this and get this done. We're gonna do the bot integration part first, and then the overlay thing is going to be later. We should be able to knock out a lot of this pretty quickly, I'd imagine. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem, I hope. But I think that's what we're going to call it for today. Thank you so much for the raids. in the conversations. Thank you very much, C# Fritz. And for those that are still lurking and those that are, watching the VODs and whatnot, I hope you've had a great week. And I hope you have an even better weekend. So, I wish that you stay happy, stay healthy, and go eat something yummy. All right, folks? I'll catch you next time.